Thanks for joining us, everyone. Thanks for coming this afternoon. I'm Gavin Lojany. I am the Customer Success Manager at Dataiku, and more importantly, CSM for Rolls Royce. I'm going to be firing some questions at these guys, but before we do that, do you want to do this?
Yes, do some introductions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do some introductions, actually, but you said we wanted to take a selfie as well, so let's take a quick selfie on stage.
Because we're geeks.
Because we're geeks like that. Here we go. There we go. Right. Right. So let's kick off with some introductions. So Tanja, over to you first.
So hi, I'm Tanjit Cortillo. I'm the Experience Design Lead in the Data and AI team at Rolls Royce. And my relationship with Dataiku is delivery lead for the implementation of it on our infrastructure. Rich?
I'm Richard Douglas. I'm a solution SME in the data and AI part of Rolls Royce. I was actually part of the team that evaluated low-code solutions a number of years ago. Currently, I'm trying to sort of extend the reach of Dataiku inside Rolls Royce.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Suraj Pandey, and I'm pleased to be here today to talk about Dataiku. Recently, we've done 3 Lighthouse projects, and I'm delighted to be here to talk about the things that we have learned on the way.
Good stuff, good stuff. Right, so we're going to break this into 3 sections, the past, the present, and the future. We'll go with the past first, and Rich, I'll start with you. What kind of led you to choosing a product like Dataiku?
Well, just at a general sort of Rolls-Royce level, we've been getting value from data analytics for decades. Mm-hmm. You know, we like to think we're quite good at it. For myself, I've been around advanced analytics for over 30 years now, but I still can't code. Well,
Can't code, won't code.
Yeah, can't code, won't code,
Mm-hmm.
no. And I wasn't convinced by internal digital transformation strategies that said we're going to turn ordinary people from the business into coders, you know, Spark or Python or SQL.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was really going to work. So I think we needed to look for a platform that enabled ordinary people from the business to become sort of citizen developers or citizen data scientists. Mm-hmm. So that was really the background to sort of looking for a tool like Dataiku.
Yeah, I love that. We were talking about this earlier, ordinary people
yeah.
Making ordinary people extraordinary. Were there sort of pain points you had before sort of choosing Dataiku?
Yeah, the main pain point was the capacity in our data science teams. We had a limited number of data scientists in the company, and there was far more demand for their services than we had people. So we had to pick and choose which projects we worked on. Mm-hmm. And this really limited the value we could get from data science projects. You know, we could only execute a certain number of projects each year. And also when we did start working with areas of the business, you know, it took at the outset, the data scientists and the business SMEs spoke different languages, you know, no common sort of understanding. You know, the data scientists didn't understand the domain or the data, and the business SMEs didn't really understand what data science could do for them. So it took a while for them to sort of develop a common understanding before they could actually start doing real value-adding work. Mm-hmm. So that, in some cases, that took weeks or months before we actually start to see results.
Yeah, yeah. And I sort of love that sort of process you go through there. Were there any sort of key critical things that were stuff that you had to pick out on? And also, can you give us a little bit more of an insight into the whole selection process?
Yeah, so obviously when we decided that we might actually need a low or no-code platform, the first thing we did was to try and define a set of high-level business requirements. Mm-hmm. These are mainly non-functional in their nature. And the reason for doing this is we had to sort of go through a structured process, show the business leaders, why had we chosen product A over product B. Yep. So we gathered a set of high-level requirements, and as I said, they're mainly non-functional, but the sort of areas that they covered were usability, sort of the collaboration aspects of it. You know, how good was it at collaboration? You know, what was data ingestion, exploration, manipulation like?
Yep.
You know, another big thing was, what about its interoperability with our existing infrastructure? You know, having invested heavily in something like Databricks, you know, you don't want to chuck that away. You want to work for something that works with it. And of course, cost versus benefit. So we had this set of requirements, and then we actually took those requirements and put them into a weighted Pew matrix. I don't know if people... Yes. It's
Inside joke.
people will be Googling it, yeah. But we put it into a weighted Pew matrix that lists your requirements, gives them an importance weighting, and then you get the feedback from your assessment team. And then in our assessment team, we had 5 coders and 5 non-coders. So it's important to get a view from both sides of the fence. You know?
Yeah.
So we did that. We sort of took the scores from the individuals, multiplied by the weighting factors, and summed up. And surprisingly, Dataiku came top. Yes.
We won.
So, you know, from the evaluation, it was the best tool for us, you know, best fit.
Yeah.
And another thing that really resonated was whenever we approach a data science project in the business, one of the first things we do is to sort of map out the business process, map out the data, and it naturally fits on top of a flow. And a lot of our sort of, in the engine health monitoring system, a lot of our complex event processing that happens would make a really nice flow.
Yeah, all good stuff. Now, Tanja, you've been unseasonably quiet.
It's been hard work.
Was there anything in particular that sort of resonated with you and drew you to the project and want to be involved?
Yeah, so I watched Rich demo the proof of concept.
He's a very good demo of the product as well.
The proof of concept of Dataiku at one of our Team Connect sessions, and it resonated with me for a few different reasons. So the first of it, like Rich mentioned, the visual side of it, the design, I think, helps users learn as they're working through, like they can learn on the fly, because the UX and the UI side of things, it progressively exposes people to more of the data science techniques and methods when they're not familiar with that domain in the first place.
Okay.
I love the collaboration side of it. So Rich was able to work with a chap called Mike Ward, and Mike is one of our manufacturing engineers in a casting facility, and he was able to just get started with using Dataiku after 5 to 6 hours of self-paced training. So he's testament that you can go from complete beginner to producing valuable work within a few hours. And because of that, I think on the change side of things, so one of our next challenges is around engagement and adoption. I think Dataiku helps people through that change curve as well, in terms of how learnable it is. So, you know, even when changes are good, you know, they're difficult to go through. And even if you've got something that you're really familiar with using now, even if it's not optimized, if it's not optimized, you know, people still want to use it because they're familiar with it. So gaining a sense of mastery over something like a tool like Dataiku, it helps people like move over and explore, you know, more of the potentials of what they're able to do with it.
We're in a really good place there. I think that whole point about Mike sort of going from nothing to something very quickly, self-paced learning is sort of a great thing. So that was, I guess, the past. We'll move into the present now. And I guess another one for you then is, you know, how good was it to have a partner like Deloitte to help you through things and achieve your goals? Yeah,
so this is going to sound like I'm schmoozing, but it's a genuine, thing. So working with Deloitte, so we're currently working with Suraj, and you know, obviously working with partners, it helps you look at things with fresh eyes, because they'll have a wealth of experience at different kind of experience levels, and kind of just working in various industries as well. So it helps bring fresh eyes to what we're doing. And what we wanted to make sure that we do with these first pilot use cases was make sure that they are low code, no code, that we're not like doing plugins and things like that. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to do that. At the beginning of the engagement, when we first kicked everything off, we worked with Dan and Grace and Jeanette. So we ran some value opportunity workshops, and we worked with different functional and operational areas to identify use cases that would be applicable and you know, great to use with Dataiku. So we've been building on that work that we did with Deloitte initially, and just carrying on from there.
I remember those workshops well. We had a great day learning, and there was pizza as well. So learning and pizza is always a great way to get results. Okay, so Suraj, you've been waiting patiently. Can you sort of give us an idea about some of the challenges that you were sort of facing when you came to sort of work with Rolls Royce?
Yeah, of course. So at the moment, we're working with Rolls Royce on 3 very interesting projects. So one of them is PCB, printed circuit boards. So we are optimizing the production lines where we create these printed circuit boards. And another one is exploring in-service data for again, production facilities. And then we're also looking at statistical process control, or SPC, so creating insightful SPC charts. So all of these three projects, they have their own challenges, which we have actually tackled using Dataiku.
Yeah, that's that's cool. And I'm part of the whole sort of process here and project, but for everyone else that might have gone straight over their head. So can you give a little bit more insight as to what those are? We'll start with the PCB.
Yes, certainly. So for PCB, what we're trying to do is there's an optimization process where we create these PCBs on a robotic production line. And this process, before we were using Dataiku, so this process was actually slow and also error-prone. Mm-hmm. And also what it needed was a data scientist to be available always, so which would always cause delays. So what we did was we brought in Dataiku, and we brought the whole process over into Dataiku, into one streamlined workflow. And so basically, it mitigated all of the error-prone instances. So there were no errors in the process at all. And one major thing what we had was that the process, which used to take 8 weeks before, now it completes in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's the quotable there. Going from eight weeks to a few minutes. So that's a takeaway for everyone. Love to hear it. So that's the PCB. What about with the services team?
Yeah, so with the services team, we worked with the services team to create web apps where they could explore the in-service data. And these web apps are really powerful for exploring this data, and also they are very interactive. And the way we designed that was basically what we did was it was designed in a pattern of self-service basis. Mm-hmm. So whenever the team wanted, they could adapt it according to their need. So what this enabled us was was to move away from legacy code, which actually hadn't been updated for 5 years.
Yeah, so a great process. We're ticking a load of boxes here. And then finally, what about the SPC use case?
Yeah, so for the SPC use case, the statistical process control, again, so what we're doing was we're looking at what actually were the challenges on it. So again, the process was slow. It needed extracting data and also juggling multiple platforms. So with Dataiku, what we could accomplish was bring all of these workflow together in one streamlined process. And then also it was directly connected to Azure. So what it meant was multiple production facilities, they could have access to this statistical charts on demand. And also what happened was, since we have brought everything into one place in a streamlined way, so this enabled us to look at more complicated, more sophisticated SPCs, like multivariate SPCs. So yeah, everything worked fine there.
Cool, good stuff. I guess hearing all that is great, but just like a more sort of specific question for you then is, how has Dataiku made, or has it made your life easier at Deloitte?
It certainly has. So Dataiku has certainly made our life easier. So again, going back into the use cases that I just described. So if we look at the PCB use case and the in-service data use cases, everything was across multiple platforms. So the data was in one platform, the processing was in one platform. So what Dataiku enabled us to do was bring all of these functions into one streamlined single workflow. So that increased efficiency quite a lot. And this unified approach was also very invaluable for our SPC project, because again, everything was scattered everywhere. We brought everything together. Yeah. And on top of that, what we could do was build this powerful statistical process control charts through a no-code solution, basically. So what we are doing is we are saving time and the complexity that was required to build a fully coded solution. which meant we're doing SPC without any hassle.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. You know, I guess ticking off boxes, and I don't want it to be biased, so I can kind of switch it maybe to you, Rich. And I know it's early doors. We heard some results like 8 weeks into a few minutes, but are there maybe a few sort of takeaways, sort of wins that you can tell people about now?
I think the biggest thing for me is probably it changes the way we operate as a department. So rather than doing work on behalf of people from business, from procurement, quality, finance, manufacturing, we're actually helping them to help themselves. So that they're the people with the domain knowledge around the data, the processes, so they can go into Dataiku and quickly do the data engineering stuff, the thing that would take a data scientist a long time to pick up. So they can do that themselves, and then we can provide advice as and when required. You know, if they get to a point where they think, I need a predictive model or I need to optimize this, that's where we can sort of parachute a data scientist into the project. They'll do a bit of work, steal all the glory, and then go off again. And we one data scientist could support 5 or 10 projects simultaneously doing that way. So that's been quite a big change for us. Yeah. Other results, people actually like using it. It's very sort of tactile. Can I say tactile? It's a very nice thing to use. And somebody actually said it's like having Excel, MATLAB, and Minitab all in one place.
All in one.
One big mush.
Good, good. So I'm hearing tick, tick, tick. Win, win, win. We're doing very well. Is there anything that we might have been able to do better?
Bit more swag.
Bit more swag, yeah. Need a beanie hat.
We mentioned beanie hats a few times.
Yeah,
and it's
swag
like
marketing.
how much time has passed?
Marketing, more swag.
No.
Okay,
Yes.
good stuff. Okay, so that's past, present, and now looking forward to the future. I feel like Christmas Carol, I feel like Ebenezer Scrooge. So looking forward to the future, Tanjit, what do you see for the sort of partnership for Dataiku and Rolls Royce going forward?
So going forwards, the next big thing for us is around the adoption and engagement side of things, and we'll be looking at branching that out in 2 ways. So the first way is a strategic route where we've got business partners working with different areas of the business on their roadmap. So we'll have people onboarding their data onto our civil data platform, and from there they'll be accessing the data through an experience layer that comprises Dataiku, Databricks, and Power Platform. So that'll be our big route, like a strategic route through there. Sure. The other route is our citizen developer community. So those guys will be working on using Dataiku to do continuous improvement type work, whether it's data engineering, data analysis work, and then doing ad hoc data science work. And through those routes, that you've got your organic one and your strategic one. For both of those, we'll be supporting people using Dataiku Academy and drop-in clinics and hackathons and code-along sessions as well. So we'll make it very people-focused around all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And we'll be there to help you sort of hand-holding all the way through. Good. Working as a partnership. So, Rich, are there maybe features that you're not using at the moment that maybe you're thinking about using in maybe 6 to 12 months?
So the main thing we want to do next is get the sort of end-to-end Dataiku stack. So we've got design nodes, want to bring on governance nodes, deployer nodes, and automation nodes. So we get the whole end-to-end deployment process stood up. And I think people will be quite impressed by how quick that process can actually be operated. The other thing, we'll obviously look to use generative AI.
We've got 18 minutes.
Just
You owe me a tenner.
I think initially our use of generative AI is going to be quite small scale, quite localized. Things like code helpers and flow helpers.
Yeah.
And I think we will obviously use generative AI, but probably not in the 6 to 12 month horizon.
Yeah, sure.
And then there'll be other things that we think of as we go along. It's like kid in the sweet shop. Oh, can I do this? Can I do that?
Definitely, and swing those things my way.
Yep.
For sure. Okay, so you started off with the first word. Tanjit has to get the final word as well. So again, for the relationship, what do you kind of see, what do you want going forward?
So we've heard a lot about it today as well in terms of the next steps for us as well is like taking a proper big step back. Our long-term ambition is to de-risk, optimize and automate as much as possible and do that at scale. And this is so that people, as it's been mentioned, can spend more time doing fun value-add stuff. And I think just generally from an experience design lens and that kind of perspective as well, I think we're creating spaces that people can collaborate with and co-create and like create in ways that we've not even imagined yet as well. And that's what is really exciting with the power of that data and using Dataiku. You know, it's fun to see what's going to happen next.
Excellent. Letting the imagination run wild.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank them for talking. And if you've got any questions, no time now, but later, if you want to find them, maybe get them a drink or something, they'll be happy to oblige with answers. Thank you. Cheers.